2019, what a year. From traveling out of the country for the first time, to going to my first prom, to spending endless time with my friends, I'd say this year was one for the books. So let's take it all the way back to the beginning. I started out my year by celebrating with all my friends. I went to some Sweet 16s, hung out with my basketball friends a lot, played basketball a lot, and played in what ended up being my last high school basketball game ever. Then spring break rolled around, which I spent at the beach with my friends. We went in the freezing cold ocean, ate ice cream, celebrated a birthday, played lots of spicy Uno, mini golfed, took walks on the beach, and watched the sunset and sunrise. Then it was time for my first prom. We took pictures, went on a party bus, and danced a lot. We went to dinner, and then danced the night away. Then it was time for finals week, which actually ended up being a really fun week. And then it was finally summertime, and the first week I spent with friends as much as possible. I went to team camp, and we played a lot of basketball, ate a lot of food, and laughed a lot. I got home from camp, got on a plane, and flew to Frankfurt, Germany. We took a bus to Rothenburg, Germany, and we spent the whole day there before going to our hotel for the night. The next day we went to the Neuschwanstein Castle. I definitely said that wrong. It was really rainy and stormy, but we had raincoats and an indoor tour. Our hotel that night was in a really cute town, and we just got gelato and hung out. The next day we went to Munich, Germany, where we took a bus tour and just explored around the city for the day. The next morning we went to Italy. We stopped in Innsbruck, Austria to have some lunch. And then we continued on to Venice. We got to the hotel and discovered that we had air conditioning, which ended up making everyone's day because it was the only hotel that had AC. We woke up and went to Venice, Italy. We rode a boat there. Then we took a tour of the city. We shopped around. We went on a tour of this palace, but then started wandering around and ended up getting lost for an hour. We went on gondolas throughout the city, and it was absolutely beautiful. Then we were off to Switzerland. We stopped in Verona, Italy on the way there, where we walked around and got to see Juliet's house. Then we continued on to Switzerland, and once we arrived at the hotel, we walked to a nearby restaurant because our hotel was way too hot. The next day, we drove to the Swiss Alps. We rode gondolas up to the top, and the views were absolutely amazing. We walked through a cave and then up to one of the peaks. We then rode down on a cog train and then took a boat to Lucerne, Switzerland. There we got lunch, we cooled off in the water, and just wandered around the city. On our last full day, we stopped in Colmar, France on our way back to Germany, and we ate lunch there and just walked around. Then we continued on to Heidelberg, Germany, where we took a castle tour and had dinner. Now it was unfortunately time for us to go home, so we took a flight to Washington, D.C., where we had a layover, and then flew back home. I know I talked a lot about this trip, but it truly was the best part of my entire year and was truly an amazing experience that I'll always remember. I then traveled back to Indiana to visit all of my friends. We just caught up, had a day on the lake, got our ears pierced. We laughed a ton, but also cried. And then we ended our trip by getting to see 4th of July fireworks together. I got to go see another Dan and Shay concert, which I absolutely love Dan and Shay, so that was so fun. I also got to see Thomas Rhett, Russell Dickerson, and many more country artists that summer. Then it was time for junior year. I attempted to vlog a little bit of school, but that didn't work out. I went to a lot of football games. I got really involved with Young Life. And then it was Spirit Week for homecoming, so I dressed up with my friends throughout the week and we just had a really good time together. Then we did the homecoming parade, and then we had the football game, which we won. Then came the best weekend ever. I went to Rockbridge, Virginia for Young Life. We sang a lot. We laughed a lot. We danced a lot. We screamed a lot. And for some reason went on the water slides and zip lines in really cold weather. We had an amazing time, and this was one of the best weekends ever. To sum up my last couple months of the year, I decided to start swimming instead of playing basketball due to some knee problems. I joined DECA and tried to vlog a little bit at school, but that didn't really work out. Then came break, where I had a Christmas party with my friends and just hung out with them a little bit before we all went our separate ways for Christmas. I just spent it with my family. And then I ended off my year by traveling to Orlando, Florida to spend the new year in Disney World. 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you 2019 for truly being a year that I'll never forget. So here's a 2020, and I can't wait to see what the next year brings.